Good evening. This is, I believe, number 7, trying to get this video recorded and or uploaded. We've had issues. I've been recording this since Monday, and we're going to try this again to go to the third essay assignment, which you should be able to see here on the screen. As you'll notice here, the third essay assignment is offered for us down here. This is the actual assignment, and these are 2 daily assignments that we are doing in connection with that one. Let's go ahead and look at the essay. This essay, the third essay, is going to be over the purposes of higher education, as it states here, which means you're going to focus upon what you believe is the most important purpose or goal that higher education is implemented to obtain. So you're going to get a chance, as it says here, to argue what you believe the main purpose of higher education really is. And in connection with that, I have given you some comments from Richard Kallenberg, who now approximately 8 years ago, in an address to Flagler College, offered these 5 points as his major goals of what he said are the purposes of higher education. I have made available for you that particular article, which later he had it written up as an article in the Chronicle of Higher Education. Excuse us for that ad. And it is available through the course module. When you look at the course module, you'll see that that's the very first part that I have. So this, and you'll just click on the bar and it'll take you to this article. In this one, as you know, the very first one, as I have listed for you here on the assignment, he says the purpose of higher education should include the opportunity to ensure that every student, no matter the wealth of his or her parents, has a chance to enjoy the American dream. In the article, he goes on to discuss each of these purposes a little more at length. When he talks about the American dream, he offers this comment that, and gives you some details, says that less than 7% of private sector workers are unionized, that the most reliable avenue to economic security involves getting a 4-year degree. And then he offers some data, which you can click here and you can go to that source. It says 82% of those from higher income families get a bachelor's degree by 24, compared with only 8% from low income families. When he talks about to educate leaders in our democracy, his second point, he offers again some comments where he says that many institutions of higher education fail to live up to this ideal by admitting some students through so-called legacy preferences. We've just have seen this in a recent scandal that has broken out among college admissions. That particular one, an individual named William Singer, goes by Rick Singer, offered parents a side door to admission to select colleges. And that's been hitting the news recently. His third point was to advance learning and knowledge through faculty research, giving students the opportunity to broaden their minds, even when learning does not seem relevant to careers. And he talks about this idea about higher education, that they are to broaden their minds, that students are to be exposed to information, to learn, not necessarily just to promote a career or a job, but for the sake of learning itself. And again, he points out that many colleges see themselves as vocational school. And he offers a study that has found that 45% of students learn little in the first 2 years of college. His third, that was his third point. His fourth goal, he said, fourth purpose of higher education should be to teach students to interact with people different than themselves. Now, I didn't change this when I put this on the list, but this is a little grammatical lesson that Kallenberg, if he had submitted it to me, I would have told him, is never different than, it's always different from. So that should have read to teach students to interact with people different from themselves, not different than. So, a little grammar lesson, but he didn't ask my criticism of his writing, but that's what the point is. And again, he offers you a comment here. And then his fifth purpose, he says, is that higher education should help students find a passion, even a purpose in life. And he offers some remarks there. So that extends some of the points that I have listed here for you. what exactly you're going to discuss is that you're going to discuss what you believe is the purpose of higher education. Some, as I have placed here, some experts have argued that higher education is only an establishment and that it is limited in what it is offering students. That students, in trying to rearrange or trying to react to higher education, has led from protests in the 60s to a call for, as it says here, more student-centered programming in the 80s and 90s. In fact, as I put here, customer-centered. The push in the 90s was that students should be looked upon as customers who are coming to shop at the schools, and therefore in the sales, that's what we should be looking at, trying to as any business does, a consumer-related business, that we should always try to see if the customer is right. And then, of course, we have more recently some demands that higher education institutions need to offer better value and more relevancy for the students. So what you're going to be asked to do in this essay, you're going to discuss the importance of higher education for individuals and society in a sort of a general situation. You're going to talk about what are the benefits that higher education can provide, if it does provide benefits, and that these benefits would be more difficult to attain in some other method. That you see a particular goal. Maybe it's going to be one of the 5 here that Kallenberg lists. Maybe you have another one that you believe is a higher purpose, and you're going to discuss that one as your main reason or goal that higher education is pursued. And you're going to explain why that is a purpose, what's the relevancy of that purpose for those who are trying to pursue higher education. You're going to explain then why this goal that you have indicated is and should be regarded as a more important goal compared to other goals, and that you are also going to discuss the challenges that do exist that may in some way inhibit people from being able to attain higher education. What happens that keep people from being able to pursue their goals of higher education? You're going to write that one, and you're going to use at least 3 sources. You can use more sources than that, but you're going to use at least 3 sources to provide you some evidence that you can then use as part of your argument. You're, of course, when looking at that use of sources to advance your argument, you will cite the articles. The sources, that evidence should be no more than 30% of your essay. You should be able to view the similarity reports after you submit your essay through Turnitin. So you want to make certain that again, the evidence is only a foundation from which you build. It is a help for your essay. It is not the essay itself. That's why it's only about 30 to 35% at most. The sources are to come from the TVCC LRC sources, so that when you look, you will see those library sources here. You simply have to click on this, and it will take you to, and bear with my internet, it takes a little while for it all to call up, which I'm sure some of you are familiar with. If you have CenturyLink as your internet provider, you know that it doesn't necessarily move as quickly. But what you want to do is go to research databases, and you can use opposing viewpoints or points of view, which I listed, or you can also go here through the EBSCO hose, and if you type in higher education and you put purpose, and then you hit search, it's going to ask you to log in. And so you're going to see a login screen, which should open here in just a moment. And you simply log in with your TVCC ID. If you're on campus, you may already be logged in. And so you simply log in. And this will take you to the library webpage. And I've already typed in higher education. And it's going to call up over 3,400 articles. And there's a number of these that you can look at. But you want to narrow this down a little bit more. Because as you'll notice, the first one talks about young South Africans. This one talks about Soviet Russia. We don't need that. So what you want to do is go here to the advanced search. And you will click on it, And now you can narrow it down. I'll type in United States. It'll give me that option here. And then I'll hit search. I can actually just click on this one, but I'm just going to go with search for this one. And then it will call this up for us. And you're now down to 889. Over to this side, you're going to get the full text. And that way you'll get complete articles, not just an abstract or a summary of the article. And we're down to 457. I'm now going to limit this a little bit more. I want to only choose articles from, say, the last 40 years. So I'm going to move this to 1980. And that will then call this in. And that will narrow it down by a few more. And this is updating. So now we're down to 435. And so you can actually look at these articles. One of these is the American College Promise, which President Obama, in a State of the Union address now about 10 years ago, offered a comment where he said that the United States should promise all who want to pursue a higher education the opportunity to do so. And he wanted to guarantee at least 2 years of higher education to everyone who wanted to go. That was not realized, although a few states have tried it. For instance, Tennessee has what's called the Tennessee Promise, and they have tried to fund the first 2 years of college for all who want to pursue college education if they meet certain qualifications. But you can go through here and look for the articles. This one is from and you can click on either the HTML text or the full text. And this is about Phil Knight and his donation to university, where he gave $400 million. And it talks about whether that is really opening higher education to others or not. This one talks about the difficulties of higher education institutions to pay for meet their bills that they have, basically because of a cut in public spending and public financing of public institutions. This one talks about the it's over 20 years old, 25 years now. I didn't realize it was that old now. But it talks about community college. So again, there are several aspects to it that you can look at, and you'll find some of these very useful. And that way, that's how you can find your articles. Another place that you can go for articles, I have also posted for you in regard to the topic. We'll go back to this, and here, and at the module, I have posted for you another website, procon.org. If you just click on that, it'll open up to a bar, and it'll ask you then to open it in a new window. I have it opened here. And procon.org is a nonpartisan, non-biased search of different topics. And if you look at their topics, you will see education. And under education, they have college education worth it. And so they look at the issue of, is a college education really worth what it should be? Is it worth it? And they talk about a number of different ways of approaching this. If you click on the Read More Background, they give you background on the issue of education, literally starting from the beginning of education in America to more recent issues and ideas. And then if you go here on the side, you will see the top pro and con arguments, which what they try to do is offer you both sides of the issue. And again, we're going to try to get this called up. There you go. And what they do offer for you, they offer pros on one side and cons on the other. So that they try to go into detail about how to look at what might be arguments for college education and what might be arguments against higher education. They also include sources, and that's, if you will note, for instance, only 34% of American jobs require a high school diploma or less in 2017 compared to 72% in the 1970s. And if you click on that little blue number, 105, it'll take you to their footnotes, and you'll see that information came from an article by Anthony Carnevale and Nicole Smith from Georgetown University. So they actually have credible sources that they are using, which is why this is an acceptable site to go to. And they do offer you a number of commentaries about this. They offer you a number of different ways of looking at it. For instance, this median incomes versus average college tuition rates. They show you how it has changed over the last 40 plus years. They offer for you some videos over a number of issues. They offer comments. So this is a place to go to. They also provide quotes in regard to this, and they give you quotes from individuals in regard to what the topics are, and they try to tell you who these people are. They don't just give you a name, they try to give you the credentials of those individuals. For instance, Barack Obama, 44th President of the United States, offering a comment as he spoke in Tennessee. He offers a remark. This was from 4 years ago now. Over here you have Michelle Weiss, who is a higher education senior research fellow in 2015, offers this comment about the community college plan that President Obama had proposed. Likewise, you have some more recent information. When we go back to the top pro-con arguments, again, you'll see that some of these dates are only a year old or so, not even that old. This one, as of May 2018. So 1 year ago, less than a year ago now, they have this information because this is the most recent information that they could find. So this is a good site to go to get some background, to get some information, to help build your argument, sources that you can incorporate. So you're going to develop an essay where you're going to discuss the importance of higher education, what you believe is its purpose, what you believe is the most important purpose of higher education, and how that relates to other purposes as well. You're going to develop this and offer this comment. Because I've been delayed in presenting this, it was supposed to be up Monday, and I've had issues trying to get this done. I'm going to probably change the due dates of the 2 daily assignments and also this essay. We'll probably push it a few days, probably 3 or 4 days, and I'll address that in an announcement to you once I get everything adjusted. You are expected to follow MLA formats, which means for some of you, hopefully you've been looking at the notes on your essays are to be double spaced. You are to paragraph appropriately, which means you will indent for every paragraph. You are to eliminate errors in mechanics, grammar, punctuation, spelling. Language is a part of the mechanic aspects. When you're writing a formal essay, you are to avoid colloquial or slang expressions. You need to avoid the use of I think, I believe, I know, it's my opinion. All remarks are going to be accepted as your perspectives without having the I think or I know tag. Those are unnecessary. The only time an idea will not be thought of as yours is when you cite it, when you give credit to a source. Likewise, when you're writing formal essays, you are not to employ contractions. You are to use the full words because that's part of what we're looking at. Likewise, when you're developing your essay, you're to do so according to standards, which means that you will have proper heading, proper title, proper structure from paragraphing and double spacing to a proper works cited page following MLA formats. The 2 daily assignments that I've asked you to do, the first one is an outline, which is designed to help you in organizing your thoughts, getting your point across, and seeing how you're going to incorporate the evidence. So I'm asking you to submit an outline so I can check, make sure you're on the right track to achieve your full essay. The first part is just the thesis. It's going to be the statement of your view about what's the most important purpose of higher education and why. So that will be the statement. It's one sentence, maybe two. And then you're going to have your reasons to support, and you will, of course, set those up as reason 1, reason 2, reason 3. I give you 5, but you, of course, can use 4. If you will look at the assignment, there's actually sort of a structure already provided for you. It may be that you want to follow this for your 4 or 5 points. You may want to talk about your first reason, about the importance of higher education and whatever particular purpose you've chosen. Your first point, your first reason here may be that discussion of, in general, the importance of higher education, and have evidence to support that, such as a citation from a source, whichever information you're planning on using. Your point 2 might be this one, the benefits of higher education, if it can be obtained. Your third point, as it lists here, may be a commentary about the other goals of higher education in regard to the ones that you're looking at. Your fourth reason may be your particular point, your particular purpose, and why it is so important. And then your fifth may be a discussion of how the other goals are not quite as important as your own. So that will be your outline. And then what I would also like you to submit, and again, I'll probably be adjusting the dates, I want you to submit the introduction of your essay so that I can see that you've thought through your idea, have taken your thesis, developed an opening. Introductions are typically 1, although they can be 2 paragraphs. Typically, you're only going to need 1, where you're laying the foundation of your argument, what you're going to prove, and how you plan on proving it. And then I also would like you to develop your first point into a solid paragraph or 2, where you're going to incorporate your evidence, cite your evidence, so I can make sure that you're citing information correctly, that you're progressing in your development. This is going to come in. I will mark it that evening, the next day, and have it back for you to look at, so that you'll have this to follow through with as you're finishing the rest of your essay. This will be turned in through Turnitin, so that when you go to the assignment, just as for the essay, you have a bar here where your essay will go. When you look at the paragraph assignment for the third essay, currently it's due the 10th, but we're probably going to have to change that one. You'll see that same bar for Turnitin. That's where you will upload your paragraphs, your introduction, and then your first reason paragraph. And that way I'll be able to check to make sure that you're following along appropriately. So finding information, you want to go through the library resources, following as I showed you how to do so, such as here, once you log in, and limiting it the way I showed you, or going through procon.org. I'll also give you that link. And of course you'll want to make sure you read the Kallenberg comment here from the Chronicle of Higher Education, in which he takes his 5 points and expands upon them a little bit more. Well, I'm hoping that this has helped to explain some about the this third essay and what we're planning on doing and how we're going to accomplish this, we hope, so that we make sure we do a good job with this one. Most of you did a much better job for your second essay compared to the first essay. And that takes us to what will be your final. Your final essay is going to be the revision of your first essay, where you're going to take that first essay that you submitted, you're going to go back through it, you're going to rework it, you're going to go over it and develop it, and you're going to then, hopefully looking at the remarks that I offered for that first essay, what you've learned about that first essay, and you're going to discuss that in a more well-rounded, well-developed commentary. I'm trying to get this assignment to call up. It takes a little while. Here it comes, we hope. Sometimes Canvas doesn't always like to load up the documents as it's supposed to, but we're trying to get it there eventually. In this particular assignment, of course, I have offered you some remarks. I may just have to do it this way. Let's just go ahead and download it. Seems to be caught in the loop here. Okay, here we go. It's going to open like 4 times here. Okay. This revision is over one of the 4 topics. Again, it's the same topics that you wrote about the first time, but I've tried to specify a few more aspects. The first topic, as I noted for you, regards recreational use, which means for some of you, you want to discuss medical use of marijuana. That's not part of the topic. It does not need to be discussed. Likewise, the second one, about gender equality in the workplace, you need to discuss the ways that it is currently enforced and how those policies need to be improved. That we actually do have laws in place about gender equality, but you want to argue that it should be better enforced. And not that we need gender equality, because we're already supposed to have laws in place. Now, this one, of course, is what I chose for your third topic, because a few of you wrote about this one. I decided I wanted to do this for your third essay. And so basically, these 2 were the most prominently used. So that's what you're going to do. And so you're going to discuss those. As I point out here, you're going to avoid such phrases as I think, or I believe, or it's my opinion. Those and other similar remarks are not needed in any essay. You're going to not need those because the remarks are always going to be regarded as your own. You're going to make certain that you develop your ideas. You're going to, again, with any argument, whether it's the third essay or your revised first essay, you're going to make sure that you follow through with what you need to do. You don't need to use the I's, the we's, or the you's. In your essay, do not try to address you. Do not try to address the reader directly. You're not telling the reader what to do, what to think, what to feel. You instead are arguing the issue, putting out your views, your thoughts, and then allowing the reader to make the decision after that. So never talk about you know, or you feel, or you will see, or you will understand. We're avoiding those kind of phrases. That's not how you approach it. Again, for the formatting, as I mentioned, all your essays should have a heading such as this. And then you will have a title, which needs to be an appropriate title. And then after that, you will start your paper, where you have paragraph here. You'll tab over, start your paragraph, and then, of course, a fully developed paragraph in that way. That one's still trying to call up. That's what happens sometimes. So we'll go back to looking at this one. So your final essay, we'll be talking further about this in the next couple of weeks. But for your third essay, please, I want you to talk about the purposes of higher education, what you believe is the main purpose of higher education, and then you're going to argue why that purpose should be something that is regarded as paramount by others, why it should be regarded as truly an important reason for higher education. Again, as I said, I hope that this has helped to explain your assignments, what you're looking for, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to get this recording uploaded. If you have any questions, of course, feel free to email me. I'll try to get to those as fast as I can.